Yo, 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 what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the first edition episode of our new channel, Dawg We Gotta Talk. I am your boy Darnell Jordan of S Town Productions. Along with me is Mr. Elias Alkebulan, aka Terrible Serial, aka Croy Wynn, is joining along with me via voice.
I just realized I probably should plug
Jesus. All right.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not like I need. Oh, actually, yes, I do. I just thought that would be better.
All right, hang on a second. Got to turn you up a little bit. You're a little bit quiet. Check, check one. All right, cool. Sounds like I got to turn
Invite people as we speak.
the. All right, speak on it. Give me a quick check, real quick, Croy.
Check, check. Mic check. Sound good?
Yeah, that should be all right. Okay, I just want to make sure it was all good. Oh, jeez, where, jeez, where have we left off, guys? It's been forever since we've done this. Actually, let me turn them up a little bit more. Never had to turn them up this much, but changes happens. Okay. So this is the first time we've actually got some high quality audio along with our feed. Elias is joining us from our remote location. As we are going through this, again, you can always contact and reach out on any of both of our social media pages if you need to talk in discussion. If anybody has questions, comments, concerns, leave them on the chats. As well as check out all of my social media stuff that's going around under my banner as we speak right now. That's going to be throughout my stream. And if you want to check out Elias' stuff, which is right here, you can take a look over there and go over to his Instagram at Terrible Serial, as well as his YouTube, which you can search for Elias Alkebulan. All right.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Let us let us get into it. So, hang on, I gotta scale back here. I feel like I'm
So
loud.
I'm gonna ask Rob real quick. Rob, send a comment. Tell me if you can hear the well, I can hear my echo coming from you, Darno, but
Oh, sorry.
now you good.
You sure?
Yeah. I was just gonna ask Rob if he could get the sound. Is the sound distorted? Is it distorted in the headphones? I gotta turn it up.
Okay. Why are you going through that? Shoot.
I mean, we could start though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's not dropping frames. I'm making sure this thing is good. Today's topic: Black self-help. For those of you who have seen some of my Speak Everything into Existence podcasts, you know I've been harping on a lot of what's been going on within the events that's happening in the world. Really just been speaking upon the black life and how to get ourselves in a better situation and how to better ourselves as human beings and kind of just how we experience in different situations. But today I'm giving the reins and the opportunity for Croy to speak as we haven't done one of these in a while.
I think we want to like come off and say like, hey, by the way, it's not black help as in like nobody else needs help. It's black help as in from our perspective. Like, we can only really talk from a male African American perspective at the moment. So,
Yes. Yeah.
we
No.
love
No.
all our people.
Golly.
Oh, my wireless connection. Are you serious?
Inconsistency.
Of course. I remember this happened the last time when we tried to do this and like it dropped out at the last second.
Yep. I still got that stream. Actually, speaking of which, I need to check on mine and make sure everything's all good.
Come back, Wayne. Wayne, come back, Wayne.
Let me make sure the feed is right because it sounds like it's inconsistent too.
Oh, it's back. And now they caught me eating.
All right. Sorry, I had to listen. I had to sit there and listen to myself. All right, we got to make this. We got to get into it. Man, technical difficulties really be taking a toll on us when we try to do these things. Man, I tell you.
I know.
But hopefully we can get into it. All right. So, topic of black self help. I am specifically going to talk to a lot of black folks specifically in regards to this because I feel like our community doesn't talk about it as seriously or as enough as we should, and we really need to take it into consideration and the same seriousness as everything else. So, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna give the reins to Elias to start the topic on this because I feel like it's very important for him to kind of go through this. So, Elias, floor is yours.
So, I don't even know where to begin or where to start with this, but like basically, I'm gonna just come out and just say whatever's on my mind. Like, I don't even know what I'm about to say. What the first thing is gonna say, I'm just gonna say it. But like, I have finally come to a point in my life where I need to finally admit that I need a little bit of help, and like it's nothing wrong with that. And hey, maybe there's a way that we could get rid of this echo real quick, because I think if I can hear it this well, then everybody else can probably hear it too. But I don't know where it's coming from. Is it
It's coming from my
mic,
feed.
or?
I'll send it back.
Okay. Check.
Shoot, hang on.
Check.
I'm trying to remember how I did this last time, dude. It's gonna make it so hard. All right, I'll mute my. Okay, I got it. Go ahead.
Mic check. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay,
yeah,
that's
you can always you can always mute my feed and it'll get rid of it. So you can just mute me if you need to on the
Check,
clean
check.
feed.
Oh, so I gotta mute you on the clean feed.
Yeah, you can mute me on the clean feed if you need to.
Okay. Well, then I'll play around with that.
All right.
How do I do that?
Just press on my microphone icon.
You don't even have a mic icon. You just got the phone.
Oh, just press the phone icon.
Nope. Nothing.
Okay, I'll do it.
Okay. So yeah, I guess when you want to jump back in, you could just like press it again.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, that'll work. So yeah, like I was saying, I think that I'm finally at a point in my life where I'm just like, there's a lot going on. You got coronavirus, you've got isolation and quarantine, you've got all these things that are happening. Okay, Rob said he can hear it, so good, cool. There we go. But you got coronavirus, you got the movement with Black Lives Matter and stuff like that, and just all these changes that are just taking place, and like it's just been taking a toll on me. And for those of you who really don't know, as of recently, I've lost my dad. I've lost my dad's mother. There is, I'm not even going to get too much into it, but there's like a little bit of drama going on. And like I'm just coming out and I'm just admitting to it because there's somebody out there that needs to hear this as far as like, uh oh. Rob said he's not hearing it anymore. Uh oh. Can you hear me now, Rob? Let's see. What about now? Can you hear it now, Rob? Check, check.
All right. Again, apologize for some of the difficulties, folks. We're trying to get into this.
Oh, okay. He said he can hear it now.
All right. I just want to make sure everybody's good. Again, we're going through this. You know, we're playing as we go here, folks. So bear with
It's
us.
been a minute since we've done this.
Yes, bear with us, man. Bear with us. But
So
go ahead,
yeah,
man.
back
Go ahead.
on to back on the topic. So there's been a lot going on, like I said, and I've been this is all new to me, so I don't really know how to navigate this just yet. I'm still going through it. Um, you know, I think the main thing that I'm dealing with right now is there are people that I have. Oh, Jesus Christ! This thing just the signal again.
Quick side note, by the way, everyone, this stream is also going to be sent out via YouTube on my page at Darnell Jordan S Town Productions. You can check that out. I'm about to put the banner on the bottom here so you guys can take that out. So that y'all can get updated with that. And we're just dealing with a lot of just inconsistencies of stuff. So while we wait for Elias to get back on to the feed, I'm just gonna kind of go through a little bit of some stuff that we've I've been personally going through to just try to get. Hopefully, we can he can get back into the stream. I'll send him another link. But really, today's topic was really mostly the purpose of it was really just wanted to talk about how we're able to try to do and better ourselves as people, and how to admit that we do need help, and how to admit that, you know, a lot of people in the black community take our we we take some things for granted, and we just expect things to just work, and it's a continuing problem in our society where we kind of negate our own mental and emotional health, because we've just been taught to do so many things, and a lot of us have gone through a lot of stuff. As Elias had attest to, you know, he lost his father and his grandmother, his father's mother, in recent time, and he's been going through a lot of problems in recently, in regards to that. And I just feel like it's one of those things of importance where we have to, for the most part, just try to be there for each other and be there for people when the chips are down and things are going awry and problems are happening. And we got to start looking internally upon ourselves to kind of better ourselves as human beings when we try to really get into the depths of who we are as people, and continuing to just find a sense of consistency, find a sense of of just like working for growth. I think people are not accustomed to change. As you can see, what's going on in the world right now, we're living in a pandemic right now where everything is just going all over the place, and we got a pandemic that's really taking a toll on us. We still have racism that's still taking a toll on us, specifically black people. And it's just like we've gotten to the point where enough is enough. The world is saying that enough. The universe is basically telling us enough, enough. God's telling us enough, enough is enough, and there's got to be a shift to change that's got to happen right now. That needs to be, and it needs to be addressed, and it needs to occur as we speak in order for us to be um, better better human and living beings. Otherwise, we will have ourselves into these predicaments again and again. I think this is a strength of character. Obviously, you know we can't always be perfect. Hence the term why Elias is uh, kind of intermittent right now with some of the technology. But we're getting to it. Up here he comes. So we're getting a reconnection back with Elias as we speak. Trying to get him back on the stream here. He looks like he's trying to reconnect.
Right now.
And
Okay,
here
you there?
is the boy. Uh, Filled out some space for you, so I'm gonna give you the
Hold up.
opportunity to have the floor be yours if you're ready.
So remember how I said um, I would charge my laptop and I didn't?
Shut off on you, didn't it?
Yeah.
See, this is what we talk about, guys. Like problems like this occur. So, um, again, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Elias Alkebulan.
Okay, so I got everything good
All
now.
right, whenever you're ready.
So while you were gone, I was basically telling people that like I've been going through some stuff and to make sure you check on your friends and like you never know what people are going through, blah blah blah, this and that and the third. Um, I told them I didn't really get too much into the story because I really don't care to get too much into the story, but I told them that I pretty much lost a friend, like a best friend that I really did care about. And to be honest, I don't. At one point in time, I was just so full of like hatred about it and stuff like that, and it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good, and sometimes you do lose friends like that, and sometimes it's for the best, and sometimes they just need to find their own path real quick and figure themselves out before they can come to you and realize that hey, I'm messing up our friendship, our relationship, whatever this is, and I'm sorry, and I'm here now, and ooh, oh man, 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 I just thinking about it right now is just like tearing my heart apart. But like at the same time, I know that I've got bigger issues to deal with right now, and I just want you guys to know that as far as like therapy, as far as like opening up with friends, family, man, life is too short. I mean, I know that. I know that. I do not have my dad here anymore. And I honestly do wish that he was here so I could speak with him and let him know, like, everything's all right. And oh my God, this reconnect. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Okay, it's back. It's back. Um, yeah, I do wish that my dad was here, and I wish that I could talk with him and tell him, like, hey, and tell him what's going on and talk with him and just chill with him. Like, I think that it's unfortunate that some people don't have good relationships with their family. Some people just, and some people don't necessarily have bad relationships. Some people just don't open up like they should. And I'm one of those people. I just don't open up that much. And that's just how I was growing up and raised and stuff like that. And it's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you come to a time where you're just like, hey, I'm too old to be prideful anymore. I'm too old to just sit here and like act like I don't care or anything like that. Like I gotta be open. I gotta be honest with my friends and family because life is just too short. Um, it's just and know your self worth as well too. Um, I know I'm kind of like just going bouncing around topics and stuff right now. I promise it's all related, but know your self worth. Going back to the friends and family, if people don't appreciate you like they should, sometimes you have to let people go, and sometimes it hurts really badly to let certain people go that you really like, that you really love. Sometimes you have to let those people go for the time being because they don't understand what it is they're doing to you. And I've just gotten to that point where I'm just like, okay, enough is enough. I gotta just maintain, keep a steady like pace, and just do my thing. Because once you get to a certain red line point, sometimes it's hard to come back. And that's what I've been noticing about myself. Is that I've been redlining so bad that it's just like, ooh, how do I get back on pace? Like I'm so lost and I'm so
Bear with us for a second as we're going through some small difficulties right now. Um, Kirk, can you hear me still?
eating. I don't want to put work in, and then all of a sudden,
Okay. Uh, again, we apologize for this. I swear we
I've
again, it's like everything starts working well, and then like things like this happen. So just bear with us for 1 second as we try to go through these processes. Uh,
uh,
Consistency of Wi-Fi will help in regards to that. Wow, I can't believe we're doing this. I can't believe this is all happening in front of our eyes right now. I cannot believe this. Can you hear me?
it's come.
I got
It
intermittent. I got intermittent
it
issues
it
coming from you.
goes like in 5.
All right, so let me disconnect him and bring him back on as we try to figure this out. Social distancing, folks. This is what happens during social distancing when you try to just get a sense of consistency. It will take a toll, um, and I'm hoping that I'll get him to reconnect, and hopefully he doesn't leave. So uh, I'm gonna have him check back in with the link, but um, I'll try to do my best to try to fill in for him as we wait. Um, yeah, so kind of like what Crow was saying before, it takes a toll on everyone. Um, oh, here he comes, and checking on people, checking on your friends, checking on everybody. Like it will happen. Um, we do whatever we can to talk about these topics. We're not gonna let technology step us away from that because it's very important that we talk about this. Crow, are you there?
Yep, I'm just sending a message right now.
Okay. All
So I
right.
put a comment down. I said, anyone who wants to talk and vent, feel free to DM me after the show. Um, quick, 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 quick brushing on this. I actually, I'm gonna pin this too. I actually talked with a random stranger on Twitter today. Uh, I'm not even gonna get too much into the story, but they were feeling down. I talked with them. I mean, you never know what people are going through sometimes. And this person, they are currently in the hospital with out of the blue heart problems. Their girlfriend, who is pregnant with their baby, cannot visit the hospital because of coronavirus. They've lost their job because of coronavirus. They, their savings is running low. That was meant for the baby. It was meant for rent. It was meant for all these things, and now like they're running low on rent. I told the guy, dude, just hit me up. I'll talk with you. Like, I mean, I don't have all the answers, but like sometimes you just need somebody to just listen to you sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I don't get that enough. Sometimes, Darnell, I'm pretty sure you can attest to that as well too, and I'm pretty sure this person, all the way in the UK that I don't even know, is going
Mm-hmm.
through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, sometimes you just gotta like vent. So I am opening up my mailbox for people to vent because we all need somebody to vent to sometimes. So
Amen to that.
it's all open.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that for sure. Um,
I'm over here pulling a Russell Westbrook real quick, trying to eat this sandwich.
we can never do anything simple. We can't. We can never do anything simple. Why can't we not do anything simple? Why? Why?
Sorry. So
Oh my god.
I just
Folks,
this
this is the
sandwich
most
so good.
entertaining of Dog We Gotta Talk. This is the first episode of Dog We Gotta Talk. Reason why I say this, you guys have seen us before talking about this, but this is we wanted to do a different branding other than just the Untitled Show, and this was kind of a thing that we've kind of gone with of just Dog We Gotta Talk. So DWGT is gonna be the new title name. By the way, this is streaming right now as we speak on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Um, you can find all the credentials on all those sites, as well as all our other spots, which for some strange reason I can't access to at the moment because uh, nothing at this time is being is being read. Like I'm literally trying to pull up my banner, and my banner is not being recognized as we speak. And it's really starting to get frustrating just trying to put this banner up on
It's
this.
technology for you.
Yeah, again, it's just trying to put this stupid banner. Um, Elias's banner works perfectly fine. Some reason mine doesn't. Um, but it's that's why it's not doing it. Okay. Presets. So
Any,
yes, so getting back into the topic at hand. Um, Again, I feel like it's important that we have these discussions because I feel like we as people take these type of uh, discussions for granted. Um, and the reason why I say we take a lot of these for granted is because um, I honestly just feel that like we can always find better ways to better ourselves as human beings. And I think we have become so stubborn to admit our faults. And I think
mm-hmm.
the sense of stubbornness, kind of for it depends on who the people are, kind of grows from generation to generation to generation to the point where it takes a toll, man. Like it really takes a toll on people, um, and I wish there was more people that understood. Like we're all going through these things as we speak right now.
Yeah, there's no need to be embarrassed at all.
Right?
Like,
No, and
yeah,
not at all, not at all. But it's hard. It's it just seems like it gets hard to have the discussions with people about it because um we I don't think it's necessarily the fact that we don't take it seriously. I think it's more the fact of um I just I honestly believe that um I think we're just so uncomfortable to not talk about it because then people think that we're showing signs of weakness.
Yeah.
um, which it's a yes, it is absolutely a hard pill to swallow, but my God, like for some of us, we got to learn to just let go and um, let God some days and just let us be do us and be the best versions of ourselves. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck in these ways where we can't grow and be be the people that we want to be because we're fighting against so much, fighting against so much, and it's a task to say the least. And I hope that we can get into a better place where we can think about these things in a different light, um, and just like be there for each other and work with each other and just like um, just work on just work on growing.
And
I just wish we'd be able to work on just growing with one another and not worry so much about what so and so said in regards to this and
mhm,
what my family's gonna think. And I think that's the main thing though. It's like
that is the big thing.
family, it can be that toss up for some people where it can be like you can have a very close and tight knit group with them, but then there's other times where you are feeling like you are by yourself.
Like, do you, so that hits the nail right on the head. For me, I don't know if you guys have noticed, anybody who's watching my stream right now, I haven't really been on Facebook for the past month or two. I've popped up, out of my little hole maybe two or three times, but it was literally for like 2 or 3 minutes. I just have been so overwhelmed and stuff like that, and like it's just really hard to open up with people because sometimes it's just like you show your vulnerability on Facebook, and then all of a sudden like people are worried about you or this or that, and like you want to keep on like yeah, I'm echoing again, Darno. You'll have to mute yourself real quick.
I got you.
Okay. Okay, so that should be better. So basically, there's just so much going on, and then on top of that, I'm trying to put on this persona almost. Like, I don't want people to see that like I'm imperfect and like I'm going through my problems and stuff like that. But sometimes that's what people need to see. Sometimes people need to see, and somebody actually hit me up and was just like, "Hey, you know, I see you as this person who has everything together. Like you have like you look like you're going on your way and you're doing this and you're doing that, and it's just like, dude, I just don't. I promise you. I mean, it might seem like that, but there are some times when I struggle too, and I think some people need to see that because they're just like, okay, maybe he's not that perfect, and I admire that about him because of the fact that I feel like I'm not perfect, and maybe with him admitting to this, maybe I can change things around. Maybe I can try and get something going for myself as well too. And that's how I look at some of y'all guys on Facebook. Sometimes I see you guys' stories and statuses and stuff, and I'm just like, man, they got everything together, and it's just I probably have no idea that person is probably going through the worst time of their life right now. So it's just one of those things where sometimes you got to open up, you got to be vulnerable. Yep. And you just got to be you at the end of the day, and you just got to know that you're human at the end of the day as well too. You can come back in, Darnell.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was kind of letting you kind of ride out, but no, you're absolutely right. I absolutely agree with your sentiments. Is like sometimes you gotta let people grow into being better versions of themselves, and you can't. There's no. Here's my case in regards to this.
Can
Sorry.
you? I'm gonna echo for 1 second. I just want to ask Darnell to speak on this as well too. Rob said social media has really made us toxic. It says, yeah, made us toxic. The comparison complex. Add that into what you have to say as well too.
Um, comparison complex. Uh, I agree to an extent. I think it obviously social media is max. Obviously, has always been there in society. Obviously, social media has maximized it tenfold, 100-fold. Um, and I think that definitely takes a toll on a lot of people. But a lot of it shows the ugly truth, man. It shows the ugly
Mm-hmm.
truth, and I think that's the thing you got to talk about too. Is that it's the ugly truth that people don't really want to hear, but people need to hear, and like, um, I think as far as like for black folks, we've just gotten tired, and the thing is, it's like people are people who've been comfortable once before are feeling uncomfortable, and knowing they don't want to talk about it, but understand the luxury that you have to walk away from some of those things, because some of us as black folks don't have that luxury. Um, I know a lot of people necessarily really don't want to hear that, but um, it is the God honest truth. It is the God honest truth, y'all. Is that
Yeah.
so? But yeah, I mean, but it's like we're not here to be enemies. We're not here to try to say is either our way or the highway. Again, it's we're trying to all grow as a unified group that wants to love one another, be there for one another, care for one another. But
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people who want to be um, take, and we won't care. We don't care about you, but also understand the benefits that see they people only love us for the stuff that we do and not for the people that we are. So if
Yeah.
we are more than just a service. Point blank. Period. We're more than just a service, and I got more value than that.
I
So
like how you touched into people being uncomfortable. Uh, so in my past week, I actually was out in Utah. Um, like I said, this has to do with the story of the friend that I was talking about earlier who kind of hurt me. And so I had a conversation with someone out there who admitted to having bias, back in the day. And, I never hated them for it. I never even looked at them weird for it. I actually was very happy that they admitted it to me because, sometimes you feel like you're preaching to the choir, like, you already know who your audience is and stuff, but sometimes you want to reach out to somebody who doesn't really get you often. So I actually had a conversation with someone who asked me straight up how I felt about the times of today, and um, I think one of the questions they asked me was, how do I feel about like the idea of how did they word it? It was like how do you feel about the idea of that there's an establishment and it's like there are things that have been placed in that establishment in the past. Like, how do you feel about those things and how they've leaked it? Like, I'm trying to give a great example, like redlining or something like that. Like, the idea that when you're trying to hire somebody, you see Tyrone and then you see Michael, and then you just choose Michael because like Michael seems like a regular stand-up guy compared to Tyrone. Like he asked me that question, I gave him my honest opinion on it. And I was just like, yeah, there's, unfortunately, with me, I feel like I have to pick and choose my battles. I feel like if I can't, and it's unfortunate that I have to do this, but it's just too much time and energy and effort wasted sometimes trying to talk to people. But I really do pick and choose my battles when it comes to discrimination, when it comes to racism. Um, what was I gonna say? This person really, at the end of my whole speech and stuff like that, they appreciated what I had to say, and they're just like, "Wow, I got a new perspective from it and stuff like that." And I also told them, I was just like, it's not always simple sometimes. Like, they told me a story about how their motorcycle chapter actually almost got basically canceled because something happened where an altercation broke out between them and it was black people. Like they weren't part of a group or anything. They were just random black people. Something happened, a fight happened, and one of the black guys ended up dying in the whole thing. Now, this was taken as a story where I guess it received enough news that Black Lives Matter actually jumped on it, and what ended up happening was they had to stop wearing their colors for a second because they were treating them as if they were a racist skinhead like motorcycle chapter. And in the end, it was found that the man was actually on meth, and I guess he overdosed or something. I don't remember the full story, but they're wearing their colors again. And it was just so frustrating to hear that because some people try to take that and they'll run with it and they'll be like, "See, this isn't a legitimate movement because this happened," and it's just like, look, I definitely don't agree with the fact that they treated those people like that. The fact that they took this motorcycle group and made them into a skinhead gang, I thought it was very unfair. It was really sad. It frustrated me because it's just one of those things where you have to be really careful with who you try to cancel and who you try to like get at, because you could really affect some innocent people sometimes, and that's not what the movement is about. The movement isn't to come out and just cancel people just because I want to cancel them. The movement is to make strides forward and to make sure that there's truly equality for all. Like, and that's, at the end of the day, that's what I believe in. And I just feel for the people who get caught up in the crossfire sometimes, the people who really are innocent, who really are like, who just, some people just don't understand, and you just have to be patient with them and you have to give them your perspective. And that's why I don't get mad when people ask me like, "Well, what about this?" or "Well, how you feel about that?" And it's just like, if you have a moment to touch someone and to show them right, take that time, because I'm telling you, you could change somebody's life at the end of the day. So just make sure that you're being patient with people. Make sure that you're being kind. Like, don't get upset when somebody asks you, "Well, how come how come there's a stereotype that black people can't swim and stuff?" And it's just like, don't get mad at it. Make it a teachable lesson. Show people that, hey, you know, let's take it from the top. African Americans are seen as people that may not be able to swim, because if you think back in the day, back in the 50s and 60s and stuff, I mean, there's photos of this stuff where guys are throwing pool like acid and lye into the pool. That could really scar you for the rest of your life and make you feel like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with swimming. And it's just, and like I said, it's not one of those things where it's just like, oh, there's a whole, like, every white person is out to get me and stuff like that. That's not the case at all. And that's really frustrating that people can do that. Like, you got guys like Dr. Umar Johnson and like guys who just make you feel like, hey, if you take one step with a white person, if you get in a relationship with a white person, if you're outside of your race, whatever, then you obviously hate yourself, and you're it's self-hatred, and that's really frustrating sometimes. This is really getting heavy, Darnell. If you want to jump in, this is getting heavy. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was going to get this heavy.
Oh man. Yeah, hey man, this is the show to do it, man. Um, and again, this is what we were talking about before, right? The
Mm-hmm.
uncomfortable conversations that you have to have when talking about this, the uncomfortable conversations, and I don't
Mute yourself. Mute yourself for 1 second.
get.
I want everybody to feel comfortable with speaking out in the comments section, talking. This is going to be a healthy dialogue. I want people to come together, and I don't want any like craziness or irrational like. No, I want everybody to come into the comments, and I want us to have a healthy dialogue and to come together after this in the end. Okay, so go ahead, Darnell.
Um, yeah. Like I was just saying before, like, um, and like I said, I do repeat the sentiments that he's saying in regards to that. Obviously, I don't want people to stray away from that, but also understand that there's here's the thing. Here's the thing. Um, there has to be. I'm trying to figure out how to really word this because now it's getting heavy. Um, and I'm gonna say this: there it's gotten to a point at a time where all things are broken loose now, right?
Mm.
So, uh, black folks are speaking a lot louder. Uh, White folks who are quieter are now having to speak, and the people who are speaking against us are trying to, again, try to speak over us louder. But and I don't think again, this is a sense of uncomfortableness, but as part of growth, you got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and a lot of us have been trying to be nice and try to be considerate and try to take things into consideration, but it's like it's not the time, man. Like we've lost. I have lost the patience,
Mm.
and I'm not saying that to be spiteful. I'm not saying that to hate on nobody, but man, good God Almighty, I wish I could. I wish I can give y'all better results. I really wish that I can do it for y'all, but right now I can't. I cannot. I physically cannot for some strange like I can't. And it's not me trying to say that it's it's my way or the highway deal. It's not that, but it's like um I've just gotten tired. I've honestly have just gotten so tired of just trying to explain it to people that
Mm-hmm.
frankly some of them don't understand. And I don't know how to really I don't know how else to really word it. It's they don't understand, and we have to explain. I feel like personally I have to do my job is to explain it to people so that they can better understand it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And um, our job as human beings and our job as just like as black people at this time right now, what we have to do is just continue to to continue to talk about the dialogue. It makes people feel uncomfortable.
Oh no. Okay,
Bec-
you're good.
it makes people feel uncomfortable because of the fact that um, they've been in the comfortable state. They had the scapegoat. They had the luxury to turn and walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us don't got that. And I say this, and I say this for and Elias can attest to this because he's in the same situation too. I live I live in a rural area with uh with my parents who've been married 25 plus years in a
Yep.
quiet town. Elias lives in the suburbs. That doesn't stray us from that our resumes and our statuses and what we've done and we've gone to college and all that. None of that matters when the lights are flashing behind us.
Unfortunately,
And that's and I wish I could. I wish I could have something better to say in regards to it, but I don't. I don't. I don't. Um I do not. I do not because that's the truth. The truth, as they say, the truth shall set you free, and we got to free ourselves from this situation right now because it's really getting ugly for a lot of people.
yeah. The problem is the problem is. Oh, if you could mute yourself for a
Yep.
second.
Yep. Go ahead.
The problem is um, sometimes when so there's a lot of cases. I mean, we all know it. You don't have to be black to know this, but um, there are a lot of situations that have happened from Trayvon to George to Jordan Davis. And if you guys remember Jordan Davis really stuck with me because Jordan Davis happened. I think I was still living in Rochester when this happened, but he was the kid who he had loud music playing out of his car and actually got shot in his own car because the person hated the fact that he was playing this loud music. He said, turn down the music. He said, no. He shot and killed him. And I remember at that time, I was just thinking, yo, that could have been me. I remember at that time, I had my stereo blasting at 40 wherever I went. And now, I mean, I don't do it not only because my ears can't handle it, but at the same time, it is kind of scary to know that there are people that will shoot you
Right.
for having loud music coming out of you.
Oh, dropping some frames here. Not sure.
I think that people think that
Okay.
most of the people that get in these situations are trash people. They're villains, they're thugs, they're this, they're that. And they don't even realize that, there are people like me who have pretty much been raised in the suburbs who have had plenty of run-ins with the police, unfortunately. And, my first run-in was when I was 14, which is actually an anomaly because I feel like a lot of people, my peers, had run-ins, way earlier. I feel like I was a late bloomer, but my first run-in was when I was 14, and all you Buffalo people that know about Tonawanda and Kenmore and stuff like that was out there playing basketball with some good school friends, and we were waiting at the bus stop, waiting for the bus to come. And remember we were how back in the day you used to have a little hat and you pass it back and forth like it was a football. And this cop, I remember he pulls up, he comes out the car and he's just like, "You guys looking to scrap?" And I swear to you, that's exactly what he said. And it's a little embarrassing to talk about it now because at the time I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know the slang of you. That's how sheltered I was at that time. I didn't know what he was saying. I was just like, "What do you mean scrap?" I don't get what you're saying. But I just remember at the end of it all, he was just like, "If I catch you guys out here again, I'm gonna take you in." And I just remember my mom heard the whole story and she was just like, "What? Did you get his name? You got the badge number? You got the car number?" And I didn't get anything. I was just I was completely unprepared. This was the first time I ever experienced this, so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just I thought this was a normal thing. And she was just like, "Look, you got to pay attention. You got to be mindful and you got to be careful." And obviously, it's always just like, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, and stuff like that. And being polite, keeping your hands there and stuff. And no fast movements and stuff. And a lot of people are just like, do you really have to do all that? And it's just like, yes, like we definitely have to do all that. Like, I mean, that's only one instance. I mean, I've been back when I went to Canisius. I had two incidents with public safety. One was when I was waiting for a friend and I was like parked, and I was in the car, like I was just like waiting for the friend, and then public safety comes out, and I'm just like, yo, I gotta go. It's like, yeah, you can go. They blocked me and they wouldn't let me out. They were trying to run my plates for my car, and luckily the computer actually crashed, so they actually let me go. But that was another frustrating situation. And then there was another situation where I was on campus visiting a friend, and anybody who knows about Dugan, that's probably one of the most secure buildings to get into. But you got to have a ID card to swipe in to get to the elevator or the stairwell. And so I remember the lieutenant came out of the elevator, and he opened the door, and I'm just thinking, oh, I can just go right in and see my friend. So the guy basically looked at me. He was like, "Where you think you're going?" And he closes the door on me, and I was just like, "Just going to see a friend. That's all." It's like, "You go to this campus?" Like, it's like, "No, I don't go on the campus anymore. I was here my freshman year, but I don't go here anymore." And then he gets on his little walkie-talkie. I'm gonna need backup, and I'm just like, "Oh man." And before you knew it, I was surrounded by 4 or 5 public safety officers, like one in front, two on the sides, two in the back. Like, they surrounded me. And I was just like, I hit my friend up real quick. I'm like, "Hey, can you get down here like really fast? Like, I'm in a situation right now." And she comes down, and I remember, I'll never forget the look in her eyes. Like, she just literally looked at me like, and so the officer, the public safety officer asked, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And she's just like, "Yeah." And then they just walked away and disappeared like it was nothing. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh. Like, it's not funny at all. But thinking back, it's just like nothing happened to me. I'm safe. I'm all right. You know, but dude, it was, at the time, it was a scary situation. And I do have more stories, but I don't really need to get into them. I just wanted to share a few stories to let you guys know, like, you don't have to be some hood dude like that has just been in trouble with the law all your life to get in trouble with the cops. You can be a dude just like me that pretty much grew up in the suburbs and be harassed, unfortunately. And I just always kept a good spirit about it. I've been taught really well from my mom to my dad to other people in my life. I've just been taught, like, hey, you got to go above and beyond, and you got to be on your best behavior,
Yeah.
because there might be a day where you get an attitude with this person, and then all of a sudden it's just over. And like, it's the same thing with altercations with people who aren't the police. You there are so many black people out there that have this story. I'm telling you, there's so many people, not just black people, like there's all kinds of people, but there are so many people, and I'm talking from black perspective myself, but I know of a lot of black people who have this story where they're like, oh, so and so was looking at me across from the bar, or making a face at me, or like, they were starting up an altercation, and then you're just like, nah, I'm gonna let it go. And then your other friend who doesn't really understand is just like, no, they're not gonna talk to you like that. And you're just like, no, just let it go. I promise you, it'll be fine. Just let it go. There are a lot of us that have that story where we're just like, no, we're gonna take the high road, because at the end of the day, I want to get home safe. I don't
Yep.
want to get in no bar brawl. I don't want to die. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get arrested. Nothing. Like, I just want to make it home at the end of the day. And that's how it is sometimes. Like, that's some real stuff.
Let me let me
Yep.
piggyback off from that.
Oh yeah.
I got a
Yep.
couple things. I got a couple things I want to talk about. First off, so I won't show it, but he had drew an image um, basically of two people, male and female, anatomy.
You trying to
Um,
get our live canceled?
my God, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience right now. Um, basically, what he's saying that he drew basically like the anatomy for with of different shades of color for a male and female, and basically he says he was trying to say, "quote We may be different in color, but we are all the same value."
Mm.
And I thought that hit. And I wish that people will understand the concept of that. And I want to pick up back what you were saying about you laughing over kind of the statement that you was talking about earlier. It's like it's.
Mm-hmm.
I think about this. I think about the title that. I think a lot about the title that Kevin Hart put on one of his shows that says "Laugh at My Pain."
Mm.
And I thought about that from not only just his special, but every black comedian, right? We've got black comedians have gotten to the point where we literally have gotten so fed up and frustrated and pissed off about the things that are going on in the world that we actually gotten to the point of laughing about it. It's
Please mention
laughable.
Dave Chappelle. Please mention
Um, Yeah, I mean, obviously Dave Chappelle is definitely one person to definitely talk about. Think about all the things that Dave Chappelle has done in regards of his from his comedy sketches to even his most recent special spoke volumes in regards of everything that was happening with George Floyd, everything that was happening in the black community. When we was asking about Don Lemon and CNN and saying what it's like, and he said it. It's like he did a special where it's like it was mostly quiet.
that.
It was mostly quiet during the special. People were listening,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember one thing he said was like, "I know it's heavy, but somebody's got to say it."
Mm-hmm.
And he's been doing this for years upon years upon years. And he's been making it laughable. And the thing is, it's like people and think about this. People see the things as a joke, right? And they don't really fully understand the context of the things that are being said about it. You know what I mean? So it's man, it's one of those things that like they don't see the context of what's being said. All they see, all they hear, right, is the punchlines. But they don't understand the depths of the punchlines that are being presented to you, right? It's
Can you give
very
them? Can you give them the name of that special real quick?
uh 444, I believe it's called. No, sorry,
That's
that's
Jay
that's
Z.
Jay-Z. Oh.
Wow.
Oh my god. Hang on, man. 840. I think it was 846.
I think that is it.
846. Yes. 846, the time that officer knee was on George Floyd's neck. And now everything's going to click into me. This is where he talked about how he, what did he say? He was born he
At
was he
8:46,
was
I
born
think.
at 8:46 p.m. when Kobe Bryant died. That was Dave Chappelle's birthday.
8:24.
No, yeah, or his two numbers, his jersey numbers was his birthday. Yes.
Yeah.
at 8:46. And people wonder how are we functioning in life. This is how we function. We gotta laugh about it because if we get serious, nobody wants to listen to us.
I think about Robin Williams. I know that, like, obviously he's not a black comedian, but sometimes I think about our comedians and how, their job is to make us laugh. Their job is, like, to bring smiles to people in times of trouble and stuff. And sometimes I think, like, maybe these comedians probably hold so much pain. Like, they're the ones that are making us laugh, but who's making them laugh? Who's, like, making sure that they're all right? And that's why I said earlier, like, as far as, like, checking up with your friends, sending a quick DM, you don't have to be all in their life or anything like that, but just make sure your friends are all right. Even your really goofy friends, like, you know who your goofy friends are on Facebook. Make sure that they're all right. Make sure that they're doing well, because you think about a Robin Williams, and I think about that Dave Chappelle special and watching him on that, and he just looks so defeated. Like, I've just never seen Dave Chappelle look like that before. And, like, I think the best thing that somebody had to say, like, somebody commented on the special and they said, Dave Chappelle, he's not really, like, he's a comedian, obviously. But in this special, he's not really his comedian self. He's more like a philosopher that is just really funny. And I thought that was so perfect, because I remember before I even read this comment, I was thinking about that. And that person hit the nail right on the head, that Dave Chappelle was pretty much a philosopher that had funny, like, moments in that special. And it was perfect. I watched the whole thing. It was perfect.
It was deep. It was a
Yeah.
deep special to say the least when I watched it. Oh man, it was heavy. It was for sure, and I really had to sit there because I was just like, I really want to just. There's like parts of me that's like, these were the topics. I got so many things on my mind right now.
Sure.
I'm on 100. Um, let me scale back. Let me scale back because there was like one thing I was gonna say, and then there was like something else that clicked in regards to that. Um, Watching the Dave Chappelle special, it was deep for me, and when I say this, hear what I'm saying is, um, it had to take a literal pandemic for everybody to have to be forced to sit down and watch the uncomfortableness that we all had to witness on TV of this officer putting his knee on this man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And you want to talk about uncomfortableness and watching the entire world rage unlike ever before. And I was very, very emotional in the past couple of days because part of me was in so many different ways where I was thinking about what was happening. When it got closer to home, it hit me harder than I thought. When there was riots going on in Rochester and people were strongly protesting over it and people were being bashed on for just being I again, I was that I felt ashamed because I felt neglectful because because I was just like a lot of other people. So, like, well, it may not happen to me because I'm living out. No, no,
It could
because
happen.
it could happen. It could absolutely happen. And our parents have taught us these conversations. They said this repeatedly. Like, it's not like we don't want people's sympathy. We don't want people's apologies. We want action. We want you to double down on the things that you say and the things that you do in what you say in regards of it. That's the thing that I just get tired of, and that's the thing where I was like, this is why I sometimes need the self help for me, because it's it takes a toll, and it took a harder of a toll than anything else because I got to fear for my physical life against a virus that's taking everybody out, and yet I still got a higher risk of a chance of my life being taken away by a gunshot
Mm-hmm.
or a knee to the neck, probably much faster than I would by a coronavirus. I want people to let that sink into their brains right now, and I want them to understand when I say everything that I'm saying right now, because this is I am unapologetic in my stance. I'm unapologetic in how I feel, because as a black man, I don't have the luxury to now be quiet and silent in regards of these men and these women's that are being that life are being taken away. We still it's 7.5 months already, and we still haven't found the killers of for Breonna Taylor to be arrested. And
Well,
these cops came in and took this girl's life
yep.
by barging into her house and taking her out. We had a sergeant who's they said she went gone missing. Don't hear anything about that. This female, and I want to be correct about this, but this I think she was a sergeant in the army, I believe.
Are
I
you talk about the girl who
She was a soldier, I think.
yeah, and she got like raped or something like that.
I think so.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Not to mention the fact that we had another another gentleman by Elijah McClain.
Yeah.
Like these numbers are still happening over and over and over again, and people are wondering why we're raging and why they were always, what about this or what about that? What about it? What about the riots? What about the looting? That's possessions. People are so caught up. I'm about to vent here because I need to get this out of off my chest. People worry so much about possessions in life, where the most prized possession is your actual life. They're worried more about about their money and what cars they got and what stuff like this. I just got a brand new desk this week. I could care less about this desk and worry more about my life being taken away. And and for some strange reason, people still don't understand that. They still don't understand that. And I don't care what status that I have in my life. I probably say I got it better than most people that are in my circumstance, and especially in a small town. And I don't say that to boast. I say that to be truthful. But I also know that I could my life can be taken at any time because the only thing they'll see is the color of my skin when they. And I wish and I wish that I can create more trust in law enforcement. I really wish I could. I wish I can have more trust in our governmental society. I had more trust in people that I used to consider to be allies, but yet they become so silent in their stance. But they loved me when I was able to sing for them, I was able to dance for them, I was able to play music for them,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to do these services for them. But then, but y'all say y'all love me so much, but then y'all silent when it comes to the actual causes of my life. Because if I'm not here tomorrow, are y'all gonna start? Then that's when y'all gonna start feeling bad. That's when y'all gonna start supporting me when I'm no longer on this earth. Like when is that? When are we gonna start loving one another the same way, and give people the flowers that they're due, and give people the respect that they deserve? When are we gonna start doing that?
goes back to
I'm sorry, yo.
goes back to what how this all started, how we started the whole live stream. We talked about self help and opening up and letting down the barrier. If you guys didn't catch it earlier, I talked about a lot of troubles and struggles and stuff that I was going through, and it's just like you got to open up and you got to understand that we're all human. We're at the end of the day, we all succeed, we all fail. Like we're human, and open up and get to know your fellow neighbor, black, white, doesn't matter. Just get to know them. And I like how you were talking about the situation of this really hitting home because of the fact that you're absolutely right. These riots are in our backyard. I work at Jericho Road, which the building that I work in specifically is basically off of East Ferry in Buffalo, New York. And I take Bailey the other way to go home. But if I would have took Bailey, if I had to go to the left side instead of the right side, I would have been in the middle of a riot that was happening that basically made like it was trending #1 on Twitter for like a whole day. And people were sharing their footage and videos, and people saw the Advanced Auto Parts right there, and like the gas station and stuff, and the police in the riot gear and stuff. And you've also got the older it was an older white guy. He got pushed over and he hit his head. And for those of you who have seen the video, it's pretty graphic because as soon as he hits the ground and his head starts bleeding, like it busts open. Like it's crazy. Yes, Rob just said, is that where the white old man was pushed over? Rob, that happened in the middle of I believe that happened right in front of City Hall in downtown Buffalo. And man, that trended on Twitter for at least 2 days maybe. And actually, I just saw recently, I think before I came back from my trip, which was, I think I came back on the 7th or the 8th or something like that. They actually said that those officers that got punished for pushing them over are actually back on the force, and they're on the payroll, and it's as if nothing happened. And it's just really unfortunate. It's just, yeah. It's really unfortunate that those officers that they basically just took them in. They were just like, okay, we're going to investigate. We're going to take them off and stuff, and then they put them right back in.
And that's I'm sick of that. I'm totally sick of that. I'm sick. I'm sick of that stuff getting away. Like why are people with badges getting passes for this stuff?
Dude, my dad was BPD. I get it. Sometimes you want to come home at the end of the day. You want to be safe and stuff like that, but you just you don't push over an old man like that. And then all of a sudden call him an Antifa agent, and he fell over and perfectly hit his head because he's an Antifa agent and he wanted to stoke the fires of. You see where we're getting at now? It's just like, come on, man.
Y'all understanding but y'all understanding why I'm feeling emotional right now, and I'm feeling rage, and I'm feeling anger, and all this stuff. It makes no sense. It doesn't have to be the same. We don't have to be the same color, creed, sexual orientation, or whatever. It's more about, it's about right versus wrong. And I'm tired of people. I'm tired of people trying to switch the narrative to try to make it more about them because they can't have it. I am sick, and I am tired of people with the All Lives Matter banner trying to negate the fact that Black Lives Matter is just about Black lives. It's more than just about Black lives. It's about a whole humanity. You guys have that luxury. You guys have the luxury that you guys don't need to have a slogan like this. Never. You never in your life had to have a slogan about White Lives Matter. Never. Never. And the fact that y'all, and I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I can't negate from this. I need people to really understand this. And I love y'all. I really do love y'all. But y'all got to understand where I'm coming from right now. It makes no sense. And the fact that this is why we're upset, and this is why we're screaming this to the top of our lungs. The fact that we have to make a slogan for people to listen to and understand is the reasoning why it's existing right now. This does not negate the fact that anybody else's color, creed, or character, or whoever, life does not matter. There's there's do matter. There's already mattered, but for some reason ours seem like is the exception to the rule. But you guys don't see it because you guys don't experience it. And it's not a thing that you can. It's not a thing of. And the whole thing is like, well, you know, well, be in my shoes. You can't be in my shoes. You can't. You physically, literally can't be in my shoes.
I want to tell that story about that Twitter encounter I had real quick.
Good.
I've been a little bit more focused on Twitter rather than Instagram, Facebook. Like I said before, this is probably the longest I've been on Facebook in the past like 3 months maybe. Like I've just been really exhausted and trying to focus on myself and stuff, and trying to focus on myself and get myself back to where I need to be. But I've been using Twitter, and I've been thinking about leaving Twitter too, because Twitter has just been down as well too. I mean, it's been getting me down, but so I'm trying to remember what happened. There was I don't remember the story exactly. I just remember what happened. And the person, I guess, was sending a text to another person. And it was something along the lines of, I guess somebody sent a message. It was like a racist message through a text message. And then they put like haha at the end. And I remember this person tweeted, and they said all this because they said blah 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 and put haha at the end. So for those of you who really know me, sometimes when I get really upset about something, I get really sarcastic. So I posted a tweet. I basically said, take notes, boys. We can basically sit here and we can joke about rape as long as we put haha at the end. Noted. The person got so mad at me. They were just like, that's not the same thing. That's not. And yes, it is the same thing. And I was just like, so it's not the same to you because it doesn't matter to you because that doesn't affect you. So because it doesn't affect you, that means it's not the same. No, that's not what I meant. No. And I just had to get really, I didn't call anybody out their name. I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. No, I didn't threaten them. Nothing. All I said was, no, that's what you said. And it's just like, it's fine. You don't have to keep explaining. We already heard you the first time. Oh man, this person was mad at me by then. But it's just one of those things where it's like you were saying earlier, Darnell. You know, there are people out there who we need certain people who have certain privileges to speak up for us sometimes. Me as a man, I will always speak up for women because I have a privilege as a man that women do not share with me. I will always speak up for women. And me personally, there are people out there who will be like, you know, I've never witnessed this racism. I've never, you know, so it can't be real. And for me, it's just like, that's so heartbreaking to say because, you know, you see all these women who go through these problems. And if you've heard of Keemstar, who has been just like going off on Twitter recently, just so toxic about like, oh well, if a girl feels uncomfortable with this guy touching her, why doesn't she speak up? And it's just so disgusting.
And
The things that he says.
um let me
Yeah.
clear up. I want to clear up something in your statement,
Yeah.
because I want people to be clear, to be fully understandable. And I know you probably mean this. Um,
Mm-hmm.
when we say speak up for them, we mean speaking up in support of them with their guidance. We're
Mm-hmm.
not speaking for
For them.
for
Yeah.
them. We're speaking. We're basically maximizing, and that's the thing. And that's the thing about this whole movement and this shift right now is going on in the world that people need to understand. We don't
Mm-hmm.
need people to speak for us. We need people to we need people to just be the megaphone for the words that we're saying.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in support of us, you need the guidance from the right people to support you, um support, to be in good support, because there's a lot of people that just think that um saying that on behalf of us, that is not what we mean, and that is
Mm-hmm.
not what you need for us to do. And that, because those things leads to other things of what I was talking about earlier, a couple of weeks ago in my Speak Everything into Existence episode about everything but culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've basically got everything on the sun but the things that we need, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we got the Washington Redskins name being changed as we speak right now. By the way,
Mm-hmm.
I and I apologize for using that term, and I try to not use that term from henceforth, for Native American people. I personally apologize for that. Um, we've got what else we have? We got the Aunt Jemima situation that they're trying to change the name for Aunt Jemima. We've
Which I can't believe we're just now getting to that. Like,
but it's like, but if think of it, we've gone, taking down monuments, taking down these things, but we've basically, and NFL again, and the NFL always does this, brings in politics and tries to benefit and make money off of politics in the world. Drives me nuts.
mm,
And that irks me to the core that these people do this. That now they want to start doing the black national anthem, um lift every voice. By the way, I'm very sorry, but I'm not sorry because I was not did not have the luxury of having that when growing up. The first time I heard lift every voice was my second, I think it was either my first or last year, or sorry, my second to last or last year in college.
wow, that late.
Yeah, maybe I've heard it maybe once on a video once before. That's it. I've never heard lift every voice to sing. Again, we lived in a public school. We sat there and did the pledge. We did our Sodas alma mater. We did, um, and we did, God bless America, and we did this, the Star Spangled Banner, and that was it.
Just turn the mute on for like 1 second. So, the first time I ever heard "Lift Every Voice and Sing," I got lucky. I was in third grade, and it was something that they would play every day. And I got lucky because I got exposed to some of these things early. Same thing with Juneteenth. It's really sad how Cuomo said like, yeah, we gotta have Juneteenth as a national like holiday and stuff like. A lot of people were just like, Juneteenth, come on, you're giving them something else. Like, come on, you guys just invented this yesterday. No, Juneteenth has been around for at least a century now. Like, yeah, probably at least a century now, and the first time I actually ever heard of Juneteenth, and I know that you have a different story. You just heard about it, but like the first time I ever heard of Juneteenth was when I was a really young kid, because all you people from Buffalo would know that we have a Juneteenth festival that happens, and there's a parade, and it comes through, and I remember I couldn't have been older than 9 or 10 when I participated in the parade one year, but yeah, I remember seeing Hutch Tech's band in the parade that year, and who would have known I would have been a Tectonian, but yeah, it. But Juneteenth, for those of you who are from Buffalo, Juneteenth is known to be one of those wild card festivals where unfortunately sometimes some violence happens, and it's really sad because it takes away from the experience and why we celebrate Juneteenth. The last time I actually went to Juneteenth was when I was 17 years old, so that's over 10 years ago. And I mean, it's sad to say, no violence, nobody got shot or anything like that. There was a fight, there was a huge fight, but I hate the fact that when I go to a Juneteenth festival, I feel uncomfortable. And I remember seeing a guy in the middle of June with a heavy winter coat on, with a thermal underneath and jeans and everything. I'm just like, dude, it's not right. This is a celebration to celebrate your fellow man and to like understand that like this is when the last slaves were freed, and like you should be cool with your fellow man. You should. So did you come to this festival so that you could kill another black man? Like I don't get it. And then like there was one point in time in the festival where there was like at least 50 kids wearing the same gang colors and stuff like that walking around and stuff, and I'm just like, you guys need to love one another. This is a special celebration. This is momentous. Like you can't ruin this for us. Like
But the
I'm
problem with
going
that,
to
but the problem with that is, they negate the fact because of the propaganda that just doesn't give it the love and respect that is due.
yeah.
So people like me don't hear about it, aside
Mhm.
from 2 3 years ago from a freaking Blackish episode on ABC. In terms of it, because
Shout outs to
everything,
Blackish, by the way.
yeah,
Shout out.
yeah, absolutely. But and especially the Roots for actually doing this song that actually talked about it in specifics, in that episode too.
Mhm.
Um, but we negate the fact that we have to talk about this. We negate it. I don't get it. Like we the like why can't I don't understand why it's so hard for people to just su- be there and understand and be in support for the culture. We have to maximize our culture. Our culture was taken away from us, and we're trying to do our best to take it back. And it's just I just wish people would understand, like we we're not here to take over.
Mhm.
We're here to be amongst one another in love and care, not to
Mhm.
um, shut other people, shut everybody down. The only people we're shutting down are the ones that are against us of hate. If y'all want to be against us, if y'all want to go and be the whatabouts or speak upon this, go ahead. I'm okay with losing. I'm okay with losing friends, quote unquote, because uh, are you there for me? Are you actually there for me all the time? Or are you just there for me some of the time?
Your man Rob said, "Well said, well
So
said."
um, that's where my stance with that. I know we've gone well over our time limit that we've usually gone, but this is a heavy episode, and this is something that we need to talk about. We've again, we apologize for the technical difficulties in regards to that. Um, I'm gonna give you the last sentiment and word that you want to speak upon, Croy, and then we'll kind of sign off from there.
I really did have something that I wanted to say real quick too, and I just can't think of it. So I'm just gonna go back and just wrap it up from beginning to end. Like I said before, um, I am when I get off of this live stream, I am opening up my messages and my DMs for everyone who has seen, the stream, anyone who sees the stream in the future. I'm opening it up for you guys to open up with me. Any problems that you're going through, anything that you want to talk about whatsoever, it doesn't even matter. I am opening it up all to you guys. It's we got to set a new standard and precedent, and we have to be more open with each other, and we have to communicate more because these are some troublesome times. Like, it is from isolation to the split between races and stuff like that. We got to be on each other's side, and we got to really just open up and communicate because this this is really starting to take a toll on mental health, whether you want to believe so or not. I Most of you know I am such a I always describe myself as like the the statue in the room. Like, I'm just that mysterious statue that nobody really knows anything about. Like, I'm quiet. I don't really open up about my emotions. I'm opening up and I'm allowing you guys to open up to me as well too. I would love to hear from you guys, good, bad, ugly, whatever. Feel free to hit me up right after this stream. Um, as especially in It's not just African Americans, but I'm talking to the African Americans right now because you know what I'm talking about when I talk about this. And we just feel like things such as therapy and stuff like that is beneath us because we always use the excuse of, you know what, your ancestors went through segregation, they went through slavery, and they didn't get any like therapy or anything like that. And I'm just like, well, it's a new day. We can get some therapy. I'm gonna seek some therapy because I know that there's a lot of things going on in my life right now that it's getting hard to handle in 2020. And I encourage you all to seek someone, whether it's a professional therapist or whether it's just your friend to just talk with. Just open up and feel free to let all that stress out. I want to give shout outs to Darnell real quick. Darnell, my man Marcus out in Rochester. You guys really helped me out in a really tough situation recently. And, I don't know where I would be without. And, same with you guys in the comments. Like, I'm seeing my man Darnell from high school, see my man Sam, see you, Rob. You've always been here. Like, Rob, you've been here for every single show, giving your input. And I appreciate you, man. But, like, I appreciate all you guys in the comments section voicing your opinion and just letting it fly. And I just want to know, I mean, I want you guys to know that, like, I'm here for y'all and I know that you're here for me. But, like, yeah, we gotta change the world. We gotta do better. We gotta stop with this whole, like, staying locked up and, like, not sharing and not being open. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys straight up, like, I'm telling you straight up right now, this is some real stuff right here. And it's hard to admit, but I am really depressed over losing my dad. I'm really depressed over losing my grandmother. The mental strain that is bringing upon my family. Really stressed out about losing a really good friend recently. And I'm so stressed out that, like, I've actually lost, like, a lot of weight. And that's the truth. Like, I'm trying so hard to get back to where I am at, and it's a daily battle, and I'm doing pretty well. I'm taking it day by day, but I have to admit to you guys that, like, it's just been really tough to the point where I have lost quite a bit of weight. And I'm just coming to you guys as a man, and I'm just opening up because I'm ready to let that strain go and to finally just take a step forward and finally be better again. So, um, take care of yourselves. Make sure that you're taking care of your mental health, your physical health, all that stuff. And like I said, DMs are open. Feel free to hit me up. I will try to be as open and transparent with everybody as possible. So, Love all you guys, and I'll let you take it away, Darnell.
I'll repeat the sentiments to everything that he said. People want to have a conversation about it. Feel free to hit me up. Um, this is a raw episode. This is a raw emotions. This is not stuff that we try to fabricate. We don't. We're not here for fabrication. We're not here for to try to make things all entertaining all the time for people. Sometimes we need this as a release. This show is made to have to have a release and talk and to have these discussions and you know the new normal is here and people need to understand that and
Yeah,
understand that
that's the
there's
toughest part.
yep and people need to and people are going to have to start getting comfortable with that settlement. So um everybody get ready and buckle up because this is a new ride for everyone. um Again, thank you to Elias uh and for joining me on my end of the stream, obviously. But I want to thank my co-host, as always, for being there and being supportive and just being the great friend that he is. Thank you to all the fellow people in the comments, leaving questions and statements and all that other good stuff on there. My apologies that none of the stuff is on the banner anymore. I've been having some problems with it with the banner. It literally came on. I tried to add stuff and it stopped working again. So, but at any rate, um, be sure to find all of our information there that is below in the description section, so you can find all of his stuff: Instagram, Terrible Serial, YouTube, Elias Alkebulan, and of course, you guys can find all of my stuff on minilink.co forward slash at DJ S Town Productions. Links will be all links to all that stuff will be in the description on all the pages, except for Twitch, obviously. But again, thank y'all so much. Uh, God bless you.
Oh,
Black Lives Matter.
one more thing. One more thing. So, I'm doing like the whole YouTube thing. Like, I'm really trying to do like gaming and music and stuff like that. But um, those of you, like I said, I've been very on the hush hush about my past week and the situation that happened, and me going out to Utah and stuff. I promise you, I'm gonna try. Like, if I'll try and talk to as many people in the DMs about it who want to know the whole story. But what I was thinking was I was going to make a whole video about it. I was going to make like a short 10 to 15-minute video, hopefully, and try to just get it all off my chest because I know that a lot of people are just still confused. Like, they're just like, we talk about this friend that you lost and stuff like that. And I'll try to give all the details in the video as much as possible. But I think it's important for me to speak on it. And it does have a lot to do with what we talked about in this live stream as well, too. Like, some of it basically relates to some of the topics that we talked about. So um, just make sure you're looking out for your friends and also know your self-worth. Don't let somebody make you feel like your problems aren't as big as theirs. Like, whether they're sick or not, you can't let it happen. So that's all I have to say on that.
Speak everything into existence. Invest, involve, and evolve yourself. God bless y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to Dawg We Gotta Talk. We will see y'all later. Peace out. Black Lives Matter.